Today is October 15th, 2025, and we're taking a comprehensive look at the current situation in Ukraine. After more than 3 years of intense conflict, the landscape has shifted dramatically, moving from rapid frontline changes to a more entrenched attritional struggle. Let's break down what's happening. The most significant development over the past year has been the stabilisation of the front lines, particularly in the east and south. Think of it less like the fast-moving battles of 2022 and more like the static trench warfare of World War I, but with 21st century technology. Both sides have constructed extensive, multi-layered defensive fortifications, making large-scale ground offensives incredibly costly and difficult to execute. These defences include vast minefields, anti-tank ditches, and fortified concrete bunkers, all under the constant watch of drones. This new reality is what military analysts are calling active defence. Neither side is purely on the defensive. Instead, they are engaged in constant, localised attacks aimed at attriting enemy forces and resources, rather than capturing significant territory. These are often small unit actions, artillery duels, and sophisticated drone strikes. The goal is to wear down the opponent's will and capacity to fight over the long term. Technology continues to be a defining feature of this conflict. Drones, in particular, have become absolutely ubiquitous. We're seeing everything from small, commercially available quadcopters modified to drop grenades, to advanced, long-range unmanned aerial vehicles used for reconnaissance and deep strikes. Electronic warfare is a constant cat-and-mouse game, with both sides developing new ways to jam enemy drones and protect their own. Precision-guided munitions, supplied by international partners to Ukraine and domestically produced by Russia, allow for pinpoint strikes on high-value targets far behind the front lines, such as command posts, logistics hubs, and air defence systems. On the international front, the coalition supporting Ukraine remains robust, though the nature of the aid has evolved. The focus has shifted from providing immediate, emergency military hardware to a more strategic, long-term approach. This includes establishing joint production facilities for ammunition and spare parts, not just in neighbouring countries, but within Ukraine itself, in heavily protected western regions. The goal is to build Ukraine's self-sufficiency and ensure its defence industry can sustain the war effort for the long haul. Training programmes for Ukrainian soldiers on advanced Western systems also continue at an accelerated pace across Europe. Diplomatically, the situation remains complex. While back-channel communications likely exist, there are no formal public peace negotiations underway. Both Kiev and Moscow remain publicly committed to their strategic objectives. Ukraine insists on the full restoration of its territorial integrity, including all lands occupied since 2014. Meanwhile, Russia maintains its claims over the annexed territories. Intermediaries, including countries like Turkey and potentially others from the global south, continue to float various peace frameworks, but a mutually agreeable starting point for talks has not yet been found. The international community is largely united in calling for a just and lasting peace based on the UN Charter, but the path to achieving it is unclear. Life for civilians, especially near the front lines, remains incredibly difficult. The constant threat of shelling and drone attacks has become a grim reality. Cities like Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, and Kherson face daily barrages. However, in areas further from the fighting, such as Kiev and Lviv, life has adapted. A resilient war economy has emerged. While air raid sirens are a regular occurrence learned to carry on with their lives and work, demonstrating incredible fortitude. The national spirit and determination remain remarkably high, fueled by a powerful sense of national identity and the goal of preserving their sovereignty. Economically, the war has taken a heavy toll on both nations. Ukraine's economy is heavily reliant on international financial aid to cover its budget deficit and fund reconstruction efforts where possible. The blockade of Black Sea ports, though partially alleviated by a protected maritime corridor, continues to hinder its crucial agricultural exports. Russia, on the other hand, is grappling with the long-term effects of sanctions and its transition to a full-fledged war economy, while it has managed to sustain its military production by reorienting its trade towards Asia and other non-aligned nations. Its civilian economy is showing signs of strain, with rising inflation and a reallocation of resources away from public services. Looking ahead to the winter of 2025-2026, the primary focus for both sides will be on logistics and energy infrastructure. For the past 2 winters, we've seen targeted campaigns against energy grids. Ukraine has been working tirelessly with its partners to decentralize and protect its power generation, using a mix of hardened defenses and rapid repair crews. This energy battle will be a critical front in the coming months, determining the ability of both the military and the civilian population to endure the cold season. Expect to see a continued emphasis on long-range strikes and a race to repair and defend this vital infrastructure. In summary, the situation in October 2025 is one of a high-tech, attritional war of endurance. The front lines are largely static but intensely active. The international community is settling in for a long-term support strategy for Ukraine, and the populations of both countries are facing immense challenges but continue to show resilience. The path forward remains uncertain, but what is clear is that the struggle is now defined by technological innovation, industrial capacity, and sheer national will. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and all eyes will be on how each side manages its resources, technology, and alliances through the coming winter and into 2026. Thank you so much for watching. This is a complex and evolving story, and will continue to bring you clear, factual updates. If you found this analysis helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel